Hi, welcome to the tutorial on classifying triangles. So our first major thing that we need to do is we need to learn how to classify triangles by the sides. Excuse me. So the first one is so there's three types of triangles. So these are the three types. So we have right here there's equilateral, which means all three sides are congruent. So next there's isosceles. At least two sides are congruent, and the keywords are at least. And then there's scaling triangle. Triangle with no congruent sides. So you see down here we have some directions that say to classify. So what we're going to do is we're going to classify these triangles into these three groups. So we see this first one right here. So we see it has one tick mark right there, one tick mark there, and one tick mark there. So that means we know that all of these three sides are congruent. So because all three sides are congruent, we know this is an equilateral. Okay. Next one. So on this one, we see that this side and this side are congruent because of these tick marks. So because of that, at least two sides are congruent, so it fits that. So this would be isosceles. An isosceles triangle. Okay, number 3. So we see that there's one tick mark on this side, two tick marks on that side, and three tick marks on this side. So that tells us that none of the sides are congruent. So we know that this one's going to be scaling, because none of the sides are congruent. Okay, so the next thing we need to learn how to do is classify triangles by the measurements of the angles. So the first type of triangle that we could have is called an acute triangle, which is a triangle of three acute angles. So all three angles must be under 90 degrees. Second one is an obtuse triangle, which is a triangle with one obtuse angle. It can't have more than one obtuse angle because it would not add up to 180. There is no possible way if it has more than one obtuse angle. It can have acute angles, but it can't have more than one obtuse angle. Okay, the next one is equiangular triangle. All three angles are congruent. Each angle must be 60 degrees. And then the fourth one is the right triangle, which is a triangle that has one right angle. So down here, we're going to classify the triangles. So here, on the first one right here, we have 60 degrees up here, we have 70 degrees here, and we have 50 degrees here. Now those are all under 90 degrees, so there's three acute angles. So because of that, we know this is an acute triangle. Okay, the next one. This is a 120 degrees, 120 degrees. So let me fix that too. Well, okay. Well, that's just gonna have to be how it is. So anyway, 120 degrees. So because that angle right there is 120 degrees, it fits the criteria for being an obtuse triangle. It would be an obtuse. because it has one obtuse angle. For this, we don't care what those angles are, as long as we can tell what that one is. Okay. Next example. We see that all three angles are congruent because there's that little symbol there. And all three angles have the same. So we know each angle is 60 degrees. So we know this is a equiangular. Okay. And the last one. We see that it has the right angle symbol, so we just automatically know because there's a right angle, it's going to be a right triangle. Okay, so the next thing we need to learn is how to use the distance formula to classify triangles by their sides. So we're going to classify it as equilateral, isosceles, or scalene by using the distance formula. And remember, the distance formula is just this. So that's the distance formula. So it would be the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. So we have to do that 3 times. So let's start. So 3 minus 5 squared plus 6 minus 9 squared. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2 squared plus 6 minus 9 is negative 3 squared. So then we square root it, so it's going to be, not square root, we square it, raise it up to the power, so it's going to be 4 plus 3 times 3 is 9. And then 9 plus 4 is 13. So we have the square root of 13. So we got to punch that into our calculator. And it's going to be a messy number. It's going to be 3.60, or actually it's going to be 3.61 when I round it, if I round properly. So that's rounded. Okay. Now we have to do the distance formula again. So that was for AB. That's a B, if you're wondering. So now we're going to do it for BC. So we have our distance formula. So we have 5 minus 2 squared plus 9 minus 4 squared. It got a little messy right there. So what we do is we do 5 minus 2 is 3. So 3 squared plus 9 minus 4 is 5. So we keep that under there. So 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 plus 5 times 5 is 25. So 25 plus 9 is 34. Then we square root it. And your answer is going to be another messy number. It's going to be 5.83 rounded. Okay, and now we have to do it for CA. So we're going to do 2 minus 3 squared plus 4 minus 6 squared. So that'll go down to negative 1 squared plus 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So then we'll do negative, that would be 1. And then negative 2 squared will be 4. So we need the square root of 5. So we punch that into our calculator. and it'll come out with another messy number. It's going to be, I'm going to put it up here. So it's going to be 2.24 rounded. So now we look and we see, are any of the sides the same? So is AB the same as BC or CA? Nope. So that one's going to be different. Is BC the same as AB or CA? Nope. Is CA the same as BC or AB? Nope. So we know this triangle is scaling. Now, if two of the sides are the same, we would know that it's isosceles. And if three of the sides are the same, we would know that it's equilateral. So that's it for today. Thank you.